What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we are doing part 2, or the follow-up, or you could even call it the epic conclusion of my 30-day VR weight loss challenge, where in the span of 30 days, the main goal was how much weight could I possibly lose with only playing VR. And the schedule for that was 4 times a week, an hour apiece, and I will be honest with you guys, I have hit that consistently for the last 4 weeks. So we're gonna do a little reveal at the end of this video where we actually get myself on the scale again and see if I have in fact lost any weight. And I think the other objective of this little experiment is not just to see how effective VR can be for losing weight, but how practical or impractical it is as well. Are you just better off going to the gym, or is this actually a viable fitness solution for weight loss? We're about to talk about that right now, actually. When I first started this 30 days ago, I had only included one game into my regimen. It was Hollow Point, and it's a very fun game. I still enjoy the game. However, it only took about 3 or 4 days in to realize that I was gonna get bored of this game really quick. So I actually ended up having to add in 2 other games, which were Hollow Ball. I played that at the beginning, the first 10 minutes of every session as sort of a warm-up. You got a paddle in each hand. You got to hit this ball back and forth against a wall. It's like playing tennis against a wall, basically. It's not super intensive, but it does get your heart up a little bit, and it's a great warm-up option. And then I also added in Thrill of the Fight, which is the boxing game that I read about on uploadvr.com, which was the only game in their list that they tested which burned more calories and was more intense than Hollow Point. So I bought that game. It was fairly cheap, and I added that. I basically split my time. After the first 10 minutes in Hollow Ball, I split the rest of that time between Hollow Point and Thrill of the Fight. So 25 minutes apiece in those games. And holy crap, by the end of my workouts, not only was I sweating a lot more just from working out different parts of my body in various games, but I was also enjoying myself a bit more because I had a bit more variety to work with instead of just the same monotonous routine over and over, which is one of the things I always hated about going to the gym, as infrequently as I would go in the past. It just seemed like work, and you don't really get that same experience with VR if you are able to switch up the games you're playing in any given day. So that's been fun. I also sort of reworked the Garmin VivoFit HR Plus wristband, the fitness band, to actually work a bit better and more effectively, more accurately, I think. I was switching it to cardio when I was doing my tracking, and there was an other option that's just sort of miscellaneous, not necessarily running per se, but just other fitness activities. Once I switched that over, the calorie count that I was burning seemed to go up like twofold almost. So the average amount of calories I was burning per workout session was about 550 calories, compared to like the 200 that was initially listed or initially recorded on day 1. I think that's a little bit more inaccurate. So 550 calories per session, that's, you know, over 2,000 calories a week that I'm burning, which is about a day's worth of food for me. I usually take in around 2,000-ish calories, give or take. So the fact that I'm burning off 1 entire day per week, I think is probably gonna be a good shot. There's a good chance that I've lost some weight from a month ago. My average heart rate, according to the fitness tracker, was 130 beats per minute, which is right in line actually with my target heart rate for burning fat and whatnot. I think it's like 125 or something like that, so very close. The other thing is that I wanted to talk about the cables, the HMD cables that were tripping me up in the beginning. They are still there. I actually bought a suspension kit to wire the HMD cable from my ceiling to avoid cable clutter on the floor, and I just never set that up. It's just laziness and not making time, not finding time with all the other projects I have going on. I just ended up becoming complacent with having cables on the floor, and I also sort of reworked how I played the games. Only Hollow Point was really the game that caused the most issues there, because you're constantly spinning and twisting around. I just refrained from, you know, twisting the same direction over and over, so I was never like winding myself up like a piece of spaghetti on a fork or something like that. But still, not the most ideal situation. If I choose to continue this VR workout routine, I'm probably going to have to suspend the cables at some point, just because it's just not ideal. It's not fun. Another issue that I ran into was the lenses getting really foggy after my heart rate would come up and I would start sweating and get hot. I would get physically hot, and fumes would be rolling off of my body and fogging up the lenses to the point where I literally could not see, or it was impairing my vision too significantly for me to actually play reasonably. And this was mainly a problem in hollow point because it does require accuracy. You have to actually shoot and aim and things like that. So what I ended up doing, and I realized this, that my glasses had a lot to do with it. For some reason, the glasses were sort of trapping the heat, that was coming off of my face, and that was in turn creating more fog. It was causing it to fog up significantly more than if I was wearing contacts. So I eventually switched to contacts thinking it wouldn't make much of a difference, but it really did. And also sort of loosening the headset just a bit, just loosening it so that there's a little bit more breathability instead of strapping it very securely to your head. You kind of have to find that happy medium to allow some sort of ventilation to pass through. So that was something to be aware of and that I had to work around, but eventually it worked out. And then sweat, of course. Sweat is not a problem for everyone. It's a huge deal for me because I just have hyperactive sweat glands, you really gotta take care of the hygiene aspect of things. The main thing is the headset, the visor, and the foam padding that goes right along the HMD. I've had to remove that and clean that regularly throughout, my experiment here. It just gets really nasty, and you don't want to feel like you're, grimy or gross going into the workout because you're using this headset that still has like dried sweat on it. It's really sick. So cleaning it out every session or so, or every other session, I would highly recommend if you're gonna take on this task yourself. Now, the last tidbit of information, and something that I've sort of learned to respect and acknowledge throughout this process, is that you are responsible. You're solely responsible for all the equipment and hardware that you're using to work out. I mean, if you go to the gym and the treadmill that you're on breaks, you don't have to pay a dime for that. That's on the gym, obviously. But if you are sweating profusely, for example, and some of that sweat gets into your HMD or your controllers and some of that hardware breaks, you alone are responsible for replacing that equipment. And that can be costly when you're talking about VR. I mean, VR is still very expensive, even though the prices have rolled back a little bit. So that's something to be aware of. And also, when you're really intense in the middle of a game, you are seeing the virtual environment, but you're still blind in real life. So there are often times where I was punching someone in thrill of the fight, and I would just get way too into it and kind of get a little too close quarters, and my controller would just smack the headset like hard. Or in hollow point, when you're bringing the arrow to the bow, sometimes those two controllers would just smack each other, and I'd like freeze for a moment and be like, is everything okay? Is everything still tracking right? Did I break anything? So that's something to always be conscious of, is that you're using your own equipment and you'll be replacing it out of pocket should any of it fail. So after this 30-day period, I would say that VR is a workable solution to getting fit and losing weight, assuming that it actually works. And that's kind of what we have to talk about now, is did I actually lose any weight? Because we've already sort of discussed the challenges, and I think those challenges are reasonable enough for most people to get around, and you have to work with it. You have to work with VR as a workout tool a little bit, but if you do it properly, like I've learned how to do, it can be a good experience. So, that being said, is it an effective one? Well, first off, let's talk about diet. At the beginning of this challenge, I did mention that I was gonna try to curb my diet and watch what I eat more carefully, and I've been doing that to a degree, but to be honest, I haven't been doing it as much as I would have liked to. I've probably changed my diet like 10% of what it was. Like, it really has been so minimal. That being said, any weight that I lose today, that I've lost, we can now attribute a little bit more to the workout portion of the experiment as opposed to the diet one. I'm pretty much all dressed though to get on the scale. I'm wearing more or less what I was, apart from the shirt. I was wearing a Pulse Hardware shirt when I weighed myself last month, but this is the same material. We go for the same t-shirt guy. No socks, no belt, pants. I gotta change my pants. So I'm gonna change my pants really quick. I'm gonna jump on the scale, hopefully not break the scale in the process, and we'll see how much weight I've managed to lose in 30 days from working out in virtual reality. All right, guys, so here we are once again. And if you remember day one, I weighed in at 167.4 pounds. And I didn't really have a goal in mind as to how many pounds I wanted to lose. It was just to see how many could I lose in general. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the scale on. All right, I'm gonna place my my transmitter, my mic transmitter on the side there. Wasn't wearing it last time. No socks. All the same tricks. Let me get on the scale evenly here. Ready? I'm gonna stop right now. 162.8. 106, so that's almost 5 pounds. That's 4.6 pounds. Yes, that is correct. I can math. So nearly 5 pounds in 30 days. That's actually pretty good, especially for someone my height. I'm 5'7". Yes, I know I'm short. But you can kind of see, like, I guess I can sort of tell that I've slimmed down a little bit. It's more noticeable for me because, you know, I see myself in the mirror every day. Most people probably won't notice, but I definitely do feel a tad thinner, and that's pretty cool. So the hard work seems to have paid off. And I guess the question now is, what am I going to continue doing this? Am I going to continue working out in VR, and am I going to keep this up? Honestly, I would like to. It's been tough, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, my schedule is so busy with the channel and whatnot, making videos for you guys, that I really had to try. It was a struggle to make that 4-day-a-week commitment. And I know it sounds lame. It's only 4 hours a week, but it's been pretty difficult when you have to share your workspace with your workout space. So I've been doing everything in my office for the last month. So that means if I'm in the middle of a build or something like that, and I've just got parts all over the place, and I haven't done my VR workout that day, I have to clean up everything. Even if I'm just, you know, I'm not even done with that project, I have to sort of reset the room and open it up so that I have room to room scale and play and stuff. So that's been pretty difficult. Honestly, I think maybe once I get a studio, if I can get a studio soon. We're still working on that. It's a big, long process, but once that locks in, then I can maybe open up that office just as a permanent VR workout space. That would be awesome. I would love to do that because honestly, in my opinion, this beats the gym, hands down. You don't have to deal with other people. You don't have to deal with nasty machines that other people are using. It's all from your house. I hate leaving the house when I don't have to, and being able to just walk into my room next door is supremely convenient and just works for my sort of lazy lifestyle sometimes. So you guys let me know what you think of all this, what you think of the results. Can you tell? Can you tell in my face, have I lost any weight at all? Like, I honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know what other people are seeing. You guys see me every day, more or less. I mean, every other day or something like that. But let me know in the comments down below what you think, and we'll talk soon. I've got some more stuff planned for you guys in the very near future, of course, as always, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that. Also, feel free to toss me a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Love you guys. Have a good one. Peace.